Whether you have 0, 100, 1,000, or even 10,000 PR, everyone needs advice on how to reach the next level, because there are actually 7 different levels of fighting, and there's a few fundamentals you can follow to improve a lot faster depending on your level. So in today's video, I'll be giving you tips and strategies on how to reach that next level. And before I get into this video, I'm putting together a list of people that I'd be interested in something I've been working on for the past few months. It's called Snapin, and it's an all-in-one AI-powered Fortnite improvement platform. Essentially, imagine what you could do if you had an AI available 24/7, but it knew everything about competitive Fortnite. Every pro strategy, every rotation rule, every endgame pattern, every training scenario, every meta change, and every mistake you repeatedly make. An AI trained on advice from top pro players, proven coaching methods, tournament fundamentals, and thousands of hours of high-level competitive knowledge. That is what Snapin gives you, the closest thing to a pro coach, but one that never sleeps, never guesses, and always delivers what actually works. It can literally generate you a full pro-level routine that's completely personalized to you and based on your weaknesses and recent tournaments, and it does this in seconds. It's also got a custom game plan creator, weaknesses tracker, and a lot more. If you would be interested in Snapin, click the link in the description and enter your email, and I'll personally send you a message as soon as it releases. You can also look at all of the features on the website, but only sign up if you're actually interested, and this will be a paid platform, probably around $15. But now let's get back to the video. Level 1 is 0 PR. This is the stage that we can all agree is the beginner level, and in this rank, your main priority shouldn't be thinking about any extremely complex strategies. In fact, there's only 2 simple rules you should follow if you want to improve a lot faster at this stage. Rule 1 is to spend 80% of your total time on the game doing fighting practice, and I'll tell you exactly what type of fighting practice in a second, but first, the reason you want to do this is because fighting is a skill I can guarantee is holding you back. And although at this stage you also will have probably no clue how to properly play an endgame, I truly believe that focusing most of your time on improving your fighting is what's going to help you improve as much as possible. Because if you start off at this stage trying to master everything, you'll eventually end up mastering nothing at all. So during this time, 80% of your time on the game, you want to be playing lots of creative against good players. And if you listen to this one rule and actually go against good players, not just your friends who you can beat every time, then you are going to improve so fast. And at this stage, you probably don't know how to fight in tournament games, so if you want to combat this, you should also be playing ranks for 1 or 2 hours every day and getting into lots of fights in your ranked games. This is going to teach you how to fight against lots of different skills and play styles, and it's going to help build your muscle memory for mechanics around your real in-game ping and delay, so you'll automatically know what you can and can't do building and editing wise in real games, something that a lot of people get wrong at this stage. Speaking of which, you also need to be following rule 2, learning the fighting fundamentals and mastering mechanics. But as long as you follow what I just mentioned, you'll soon learn the fighting fundamentals. But if you want to learn them faster, you can watch some videos on how to fight on YouTube, or look at how pros fight themselves, how they move, how they edit, when they build, how they drop on walls, how they box fight, and things like that. But something extremely important at this stage is mastering your mechanics, because otherwise it's going to make it so much harder to do down the line, and then when you progress in the more high level stages, you're going to progress a lot slower compared to if you just focus on mastering your mechanics this now, because usually you'll have multiple aspects of your mechanics that you need to work on. In fact, if you're at 0 PR, I can guarantee you'll have multiple aspects of your mechanics you need to work on. Even if you think you don't, I promise you do. And for keyboard and mouse players at this stage, it's usually something to do with your aim. And for controller players, it's usually your mechanics, such as editing or piece control. And another thing I see lots of players at this stage doing wrong is how they fight, because they don't understand one simple fighting rule, which is counter damage. In a fight, most people at this stage don't understand the importance of actually dealing damage in a fight. They're way too focused on how to edit or piece control or build, not how to deal damage. And especially when you're playing defensive against any good player, getting good counter damage is the only way to stop that enemy pressuring you. But if you follow this advice, you'll soon hit the next level, level 2, 100 PR. The area that for some people feels like a huge trap that they just can't seem to escape. But really, it's extremely easy to reach the next level once you learn a few key things. In fact, if you implement what I'm about to say today, you can get to the next level in under 60 days, or in some cases, just a few weeks. Similar to the first level, a lot of players at this stage make the huge mistake of worrying too much about having fast mechanics. Instead, your only focus should be on getting consistent mechanics. And this doesn't mean you have to have slow, clunky mechanics and slow edits. It means you have to prioritize being able to never miss an edit, even if it's at an awkward angle, or being able to build in the perfect spot every time, and never making the mistake of accidentally placing a wall too far and dying, or even accidentally coning yourself. Another mistake a ton of players make at this stage is not applying enough pressure and not playing aggressive enough, because if you look at any pro fighter, they are almost always playing aggressive, and it's not because they W key everyone and initiate a fight. It's because when they fight, they focus on not taking damage, so you don't have to play defensive in the first place. So make sure you apply lots of pressure and play more aggressive, but do not forget to keep awareness on your enemies pretty much at all times, because if you lose awareness for more than just 3 seconds, it can instantly lose you a fight. So make sure that when you fight, you play to your enemy's mistakes instead of overbuilding and making a mistake yourself, which will then make the enemy play off of you. You want to be the one in control of the fight and the one who punishes their opponent for every mistake they make. But just like level 1, your fighting does still need a lot of work, so make sure that you're also putting in a lot of time into improving your fighting skill by playing lots of creative against good players, and also playing ranks as long as it's not too easy for you, which in this stage I doubt it will be. And easy does not mean you can win every game. Winning every game in ranks is not that difficult. What I mean by it being too easy for you is if you're able to drop high kill games pretty much every game, and I'm talking 15 to 20 kills. And speaking of ranked being too easy, if you're at level 3 around the 1000 PR range, it's actually a lot easier to progress to much higher PR and improve your fighting a lot faster, but only as long as you follow 2 crucial fundamentals. And please watch this whole section if you come under this category, because I promise you, if you apply everything I'm about to say today, you'll improve faster than you ever thought you could have. And step 1 is to focus on your weaknesses. And if you don't do this, you'll just keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again, and you'll never place as good as you want in tournaments, let alone be a really good fighter. There's over 30 different micro categories of Fortnite, from movement to peaks to aim to piece control or even off-spawn fights. And at this stage, you're really held back by being good at a few of these categories, but not every one. you've built up solid fundamentals. So if you watch back your games to look at how you died, to identify your weaknesses, and then work on improving these weaknesses when you play, you'll start to become a really good fighter. Just make sure you follow step 2, which is to use movement in fights. Before I tell you how to properly do this, because most people get it wrong, if you do want to start improving and focusing on your weaknesses a lot easier and make half the work done for you, then check out my Fortnite progression tracker bundle, which has already helped hundreds of people improve a lot faster. You get a full weakness tracking system that shows you exactly what you're bad at and how to fix it. Plus, I've included multiple step-by-step videos where I break down how to find your weaknesses and build a personalized improvement plan around your weaknesses. If you're serious about getting to a really high level, click the link in the description to get the progression tracker bundle. But using movement in fights is something pros do really well, but lower level players don't do enough. So if you master using movement in fights, you'll start winning fights a lot easier and just winning a lot more fights in general. So use movement to get out of bad situations, like if you're stuck in a box. Use your movement to make protected peeks, and most importantly, use your movement in fights to become unpredictable and pretty much impossible to be damaged. And I have a video covering this in depth coming out soon, so if you want videos like that or just more improvement videos, then make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Level 4 is the 5,000 to 10,000 PR range, and typically there's 2 mistakes people in this category do when it comes to fighting, leading them to be stuck at this stage and not progress as fast as they want. The first mistake is that you take way too much damage in fights, because when I was talking to a pro player with over $40,000 in earnings, Eclipse, his number 1 tip was a strategy to help you stop taking damage in fights. So that being the number 1 tip for people wanting to go pro should tell you just how important it is to stop taking damage. Even just 50 damage taken can make a fight a lot harder to win, compared to if you went for a safer play and didn't take that damage. Now, if you want to improve this skill, me and Eclipse both recommend this strategy that I haven't heard anyone on YouTube talk about, and this is to play solo ranks and focus on trying to take 0 damage. And after doing this, not only will you start taking way less damage in fights, but you'll also start to naturally learn how to use movement in fights and make good peaks every time, as this goes hand in hand with taking no damage in fights. But another mistake, or something that people at this stage need to improve, is getting better at clutch situations. Whether it's winning 2v1s or getting a refresh in an endgame when you don't have much materials. So to practice this, you can play some 2v1s against really good players, or play more scrims and figure out the best places to look for refreshes and learn how to play and come back from bad situations, whether you have low health and no heals or just low mats. Once you reach the 10,000 PR range, you're probably a good fighter, but your tournament placements aren't matching up, or you're not placing as high as you should be. And one reason which could be causing this is because you haven't focused on improving your off spawn, so your early game lets you down 90% of the time. If this is you, this is something you really need to fix if you want to go pro and become one of the best players in the game, because if you can't make it off spawn nearly every time, it won't matter how good you are at anything else, because you'll die and go back to the lobby every time. And with 10,000 or more PR, you'll be able to get into the best practice Discord for your region. For example, you need 10,600 PR to be in Noble 24/7 on EU at this current moment, which is the top practice Discord for EU. So once you're in this Discord, or in the one for your region, spend at least 70% of your time on the game in this Discord. Whether it's 1v1ing people from the Discord or just grinding the scrim sessions the Discord is hosting. This is going to get you the best quality practice possible, as you're going to go up against the top 1,000 players in your region. At 25,000 PR, you're undeniably a good fighter and have mastered all the fundamentals when it comes to fighting. But what What's holding you back is going into every tournament game with a blind eye. And let me explain. You probably don't have a game plan with loot paths, the best places to farm, and things like that. You probably know the importance of having a drop map, but you don't know the actual importance of having a loot path, or knowing the best places to farm, or just knowing what resources are around your landing spot, like launch pads for example. So follow this one task I'm about to give you next time you play a tournament, and you'll see just how much easier it becomes to place better and more consistently in tournaments. Just spend a few hours looking at your drop, or maybe even watching pros who also land at the same spot you do, and then put together a loot path to help you get the best loot as fast as possible. And make sure you know the best places to farm, like the fastest metal you can farm around or in your drop spot. But also make sure you play a lot of scrims, because at this stage it's mainly about just grinding as much as possible to get as much experience in tournament style games as possible. But probably the most important thing to do in Fortnite if you want to go pro and become one of the best players in the game is to VOD review, even if you're not the IGL, because VOD reviewing pros is going to teach you how to play a proper competitive game almost perfectly every time. I would even say that you should be VOD reviewing for at least 3 hours a week, and even more if you're the IGL. To get to this point, you're probably disciplined enough to do this, so all you need to do is trust me, and I've helped thousands of people improve way faster than they ever have before, as well as helping multiple people get more earnings. But now let's talk about stage 7, the 50,000 PR range. At this stage, it's so important to make sure you go up against the best players possible, and at this level you should be trying to only fight players with at least 60 to 70,000 PR. Constantly going up against the best players on your region is going to help you progress so much faster, and you will never become one of the best players on your region if you don't do this. Another extremely important aspect that determines if you'll reach your full potential is making sure that you fix every small mistake you make, to make sure you're an extremely consistent player all around. And I'm not just talking about fighting, I quite literally mean all the tiny mistakes, like glider pullout timing, rotation paths, reload management, and stuff like that, because typically 50,000 PR players have just a few of these super small micro categories that are holding them back from becoming tier 2 or tier 1 pros. Speaking of tier 1 pros, if you watch how they fight, you'll notice that they are always looking for ways to punish the enemy's mistake and deal damage. So please keep this in mind and implement this into your fights. The final thing you need to implement, and this is something you must do if you want to become a tier 1 pro or become one of the best players in the world, this is to stay consistent grinding the game and to VOD review way more than you currently do. Watch the top pros and look at how they play, and then try replicating that in your scrim games and then in tournaments once you've practiced them consistently. But no matter what skill you are, if you're trying to improve or if you want to improve, then watch this video on screen. But before you go, make sure to like and subscribe, use code Blexiti in the Fortnite item shop so I can keep on making these videos, and check out Snapin with the link in the description if you would be interested in that platform.